All right, so Mitch and Trent are here today, and we're discussing reseeding of winter wheat. And to be fair, we're actually still working on the initial seeding of winter wheat, so we're a little bit premature on the reseeding aspect. But essentially, come across an article from K-State Research and Extension last week that was actually published in 2022 regarding the planting rates and reseeding of our hard red winter wheat here, because it's looking very similar to last year's wheat year. So Mitch, give us kind of an update on what you're thinking on 23.
Yeah, like Trent mentioned, this year is looking pretty similar to last year, if not worse. A lot of areas here in central Kansas, most people are probably going to have to dust the wheat in. No moisture to be found in the profile, so dust the wheat in and pray for rain. So more than likely, it's possible we could be seeing some situations where we might have to go in and reseed some wheat.
It would be, we're just discussing kind of offline here about what the percentage of replant wheat is in the state of Kansas, and it's got to be extremely low. But we'll kind of go over where some of those thresholds are, and some of those guidelines on maybe when you want to pull the trigger to do it, and whether or not your stand looks good enough. Now, to be fair, there are some places around that already have wheat up. Just north of here a little ways, they've caught some rain, and I've heard growers say theirs is up, and I know in northwest Kansas they've got some up, but right here through this central corridor, it is extremely dry. So it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully we don't end up needing some of this reseeding guidelines, but at any rate, it's like preventative maintenance. Better to know kind of what you're looking for beforehand rather than in the field wondering what you need to do. So hopefully this is some criteria that can be beneficial to you as you're out there evaluating some wheat stands. So essentially this article by Research and Extension really kind of pulls out your planting rate. And so obviously our wheat planting rate varies as we move from west to east. And it also factors in your drill width there too. So for the sake of this conversation, we're going to go kind of off this central corridor planting rates and common drill width, just to kind of give us a snapshot of what those numbers would look like. So Mitch, kind of walk us through some of those numbers.
Yeah, so for this situation, I guess we were just going to go off of the rates more suited for central Kansas and north central Kansas. Typically for our area, you're going to shoot for a population of roughly around 1.2 million seeds per acre. And that kind of brings another point up of this is another reason why you would go off of seeds per acre rather than just going pounds per acre like people have done in the past. So like I said, typically for this area, shoot for around 1.2 million seeds per acre, which at a seed size of 16,000 pounds, or 16,000 seeds per pound, that's going to come out to about 75 pounds per acre. So on 7.5 inch row spacing, we should be seeing roughly around 15 plants per foot of row, correct?
Yeah, so we use the average 7.5 for the purpose of this discussion, on a 7.5 inch drill spacing, which is very common for us right through here. Now there are some guys with 8s, and there are a few guys with 10-inch drills, and this the link and the chart does provide some of those numbers around that. But yeah, if you had a 7.5 inch drill spacing and you dropped 75 pounds at 16,000 seeds per pound, you'd be putting in kind of that 1.2 million. And they kind of do allow for some non-emergence, because we see that. So if you saw 80% emergence, you should be seeing 14 seeds per foot of row. So really what it comes down to then is as we know, wheat can fill in and tiller. And so what is the threshold that we're looking for, whether or not we need to do some reseeding? So according to the chart, and some math here. If we see 50% of that still out there, so if we saw 7 live plants per foot of row, we actually have not met the threshold for reseeding. However, if it drops below 50% and gets down to 40%, that's kind of the action number there. So if we saw 6 plants per foot of row, it is recommended to go in and do a reseeding. So a reseeding would look like, for our area, based on our populations, and this is obviously going to be later because we're going to be evaluating these stands late in the season, and so we're going to go in with roughly 50 pounds of seed, kind of at a cross drill method across that same field. So,
of course, most of the field probably isn't going to come up evenly like that. You're probably going to have some spots in the field, typically where there's going to be maybe more of an acceptable stand, and some areas where there's probably no stand. So it does make those decisions a little more difficult. Some areas are probably going to want a full seeding rate to go back in, especially as we get further into the fall.
Yeah, it's always a hard thing about talking about a reseeding or some sort of a replant is there's probably going to be areas of the field that are fine, and then there's going to be areas that are well below the 40% threshold. So making that judgment call on where it needs it, whether you do the whole field or not. So hopefully we don't end up needing to use this resource, but in the event that we do, glad it's available to us, and check it out. Circle back to this if your field looks like it's coming across some of these thin population issues. Thanks.